And I'm here with my roommate Maria. She's Italian.
Hi.
And she also went through AFS to New Jersey,
Yeah.
right? Where in New Jersey?
Mm-hmm. Livingston.
Okay.
I mean, one of the cities I went to was Livingston.
Okay. So I've been getting a lot of requests to do a Rotary versus AFS video, and so I am going to do that, and we have a couple talking points that we're going to talk about. So, yeah. Let's get started. So one of the first things that I think is probably like the biggest difference between all these programs is probably the cost of the program. For me, with Rotary Youth Exchange Florida, I think it cost me about $5,000, everything included. That's health insurance, plane, living expenses, but you also have to pay extra money for the trips that you do around there.
AFS, the good thing about AFS is that you can get financial aid, and you can get different prices according to what you pay for taxes.
Mm-hmm.
In my case, was unfortunately really expensive. Same as you though, like we had everything included, health insurance and plane tickets and everything. We had the trips included, so we didn't have to pay extra money for it. But it cost me about I'm gonna say 13,000 euros. So it was really expensive for me.
Rotary Youth Exchange is kind of known as like the cheapest one, which is primarily the biggest reason that I chose Rotary in the end. When you're going through the application process for Rotary, you have like a list of countries usually that you like choose from that are like your top countries, and usually in the end though, you don't have a choice in where you end up going. Like, you can obviously deny or accept the program, but I didn't have really a choice in where I wanted to go. Really, I think Thailand was my third choice. It was like Japan, Taiwan, Thailand, India, and then Spain. So yeah.
Still not bad, you got a third choice.
Yeah, but a lot of people in my district actually didn't get their first choice. So there's that.
Yeah, with AFS you kind of have a choice, but you at the end they put you where they want, but still you can list 10 countries, so you can have 10 preferences where you would like to go. Of course, the first one is where your first choice and your second choice and so on. But if you don't have enough like credits, which you earn with like how good your GPA is in school, and how well you did the interview that they make you do, how well you did throughout the process. That's how you earn points technically with AFS. And so the more points you have, the more chance you have to get your first choice. In my case, I was lucky, and I actually got my first choice, which was USA. Although of course USA is a really big country, so I didn't actually have a say in where in USA I was gonna go. I got chosen by a family who lived in New Jersey, but of course it was for me. I would like to go to either Florida or, California, some cool places.
If you're in Florida though, usually you just get stuck out way in the boonies. Like,
I heard about that.
Yeah,
I wanted to go to Miami.
Well, everyone wants to go to Miami. Like, my exchange friend Ennis, he got stuck in like a random town, like an hour away from me.
With AFS?
No, through Rotary.
Oh, Rotary.
Yeah, and like there was nothing there, like at all. And I mean, that kind of happens with Rotary too, though, where it's like I got put in a town that was like 12,000 people and maybe like a mile wide, and that's about it. Probably one of the biggest things that I had a little bit of a beef with my Rotary program was that I was not able to travel anywhere. And I know that this is really different from country to country for Rotary, but for even district to district, actually, because the southern district in Thailand was allowed to travel.
Really?
Yeah, one of their trips was like to the Philippines or something like that.
That's amazing.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of difficult for me where like I wasn't allowed to travel, but AFS students like in Thailand, they got to go everywhere. Like my friend Bojil, who was in my city, she went traveling all the time.
Yes, definitely. If with AFS, it's totally fine with you traveling anywhere you want, as long as, of course, as you pay for it, and as your if your host family is okay with it. If your family is okay with it and you don't have anything big with school, like school is not, against it, you're fine. You can go wherever you want.
Speaking about school is also pretty different when it comes to that. School for me in particular, I know that some Rotary Youth Exchange students do get credits for being at school, but for the most part, I didn't really know anyone who actually got credit in Thailand. I think it just kind of depends on like what country you go to and where you're coming from. But again, my friend with AFS also got credits coming from Norway, even like
in Thailand.
Yeah, taking classes in Thailand. So
okay, it depends where you come from, and it also depends what your school wants from you. Like the deal with my school to let me go on exchange and let me coming back without failing the year was that I had to do very well in the States. Like I had to actually make an effort to do well in school while I was in exchange.
I think in general, Rotary tends to be a little bit more strict than AFS when it comes to just any exchange, at least everything that I've heard.
I think Rotary gets a little stricter with rules, with like you going to meeting, you going to every single event. AFS is a little bit more loose with it. I know for sure AFS Italy like almost doesn't care. Like it's not as strict as Rotary will be. Like AFS Italy is really chill. AFS America, like AFS New Jersey, was okay. Was kind of strict at the same time. I don't think it was as strict as Rotary.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the traveling thing, also with like I had to go to like every meeting of my Rotary group. And again, that does change really, really often, where I know people who had only seen their Rotary group like once, and that was to make their presentation. And I saw my Rotary group like every single meeting, and I went to all the events. But yeah, I still didn't do the presentation for some reason. Every Rotary Youth Exchange student is supposed to do a presentation about their home country to their host club. And vice versa, when you come back, you're supposed to do it about your host district, country, city to your home club.
Is it something that you have to do?
Yeah, it's like I've never heard of anyone not doing it, and I didn't do it.
That is weird.
Yeah.
For AFS, you don't have to do it. You can do it. It's definitely suggested, especially if the school you go to wants it. Like I've heard people that went to Asian countries that really wanted to know something from your home country. So yeah, they prepare PowerPoint or something. I didn't. Nobody cared.
I made my entire presentation and I still didn't get to show it.
Oh. By the way, I'm really jealous of your blazers.
Really?
Yes.
Are you serious?
They look so cool. I want the pins and everything.
Yeah, the
with
blazers
AFS,
are
I got
cool.
2 junky t-shirts, and that was it.
I got like 8 t-shirts.
Which I used.
And a blazer. I love my blazer.
It's amazing. I
yeah,
love it.
it's like the best souvenir you could ever have. Like,
also, you go around and you're like, oh yeah, that's Rotary.
I know you. Yeah. The time that I went to Thailand, a random girl, while I was on the plane going from Tokyo to Bangkok, she just came up to me, and my friend who was also coming with me, and she's like, here, and she like gives us pins, and we're like, okay, and she's like, yeah, I was an exchange student like 2 years ago, and I have some pins, and I keep them with me, so here you go. I'm like,
that's awesome.
That's like awesome. I think probably one of the best things about Rotary is that you can get really nice connections with Rotarians. Like my summer job that I had was from a Rotarian from my home club, and I mean it was like awesome that I was able to get a job out of like being an exchange student, which is pretty cool. And I got to go to all of the home club meetings, and everyone got to like know me really well, and everyone's like, if you ever need a job, let me know. I'm like,
that's awesome. I've never heard of anything like that with AFSers. Usually you don't get that kind of connection. Of course you're connected, and if you want to be involved with AFS after you come back, you want to be an AFSer, you want to help with new students, you definitely can, and you can get connections, but I don't think it's the same as Rotary. Like Rotary definitely has better connection, better.
Yeah.
You know. One thing that I actually like about the AFS programs in general is that while you're in exchange, you have only one family to settle in and just get accustomed to. While I know that with Rotary you switch, and I think that changing families after kind of so often, can be difficult.
Yeah, it really can be. Like, from the first switch is especially difficult, but I think after that it gets a little bit easier.
Oh, I can understand that.
Yeah.
And I can see the positive points because you have different experience in each family. At the same time, though, for my personal experience, I wish I could stay only in my family because I didn't really get along that well with my host family. Like, stuff happened, and so I ended up switching 3 host families. And that kind of bothered me a lot also.
Yeah.
I really would like to have one family and stay in one place.
Yeah.
Also, because this placement is really radical with AFS, they can literally transfer you from one side of a country to the other.
Yeah, that was one thing that I really did not like about that. My friend who was in AFS in my city got displaced to a completely different city, like 5 hours away.
Yeah, that happens.
Maybe it was shorter than that, but like it was like a really like difficult thing because it's like halfway through your exchange, it's like new school, new family, new city, everything. And like, yeah, I do think that displacement, like in that regards, is bad, but displacement in, like, imagine if you were in a really small city and you had to like see that person all the time, it would be so awkward.
Yeah, true.
Like, I think in general, like, some host families and exchange students just don't really get along too well. Like, they don't mash very well, and I think that's not something that is really talked about very often with exchange students, is that, like, you're not always going to get along with your host family. You're not going to always like them. It's just, like, which is what I actually like about the more than one host family, because if you didn't really like your first host family, then it's like, oh, well, I only have to put up with this for, like, a couple more months, instead of it's like, oh, gosh.
Yeah, I understand you. I understand your point of view.
Yeah.
Personally, anybody I heard from who had an exchange year with AFS had a great experience, had the best year of their life, the best, program of their life, the best exchange year of their life. For me, unfortunately, didn't happen. It was definitely one of the best years of my life. It definitely was a changing point in my life, but unfortunately, it wasn't that great of an exchange.
Yeah.
Still, though, I would do it all over again. Like, I don't regret going on exchange.
Yeah,
I just wish some things were better.
Yeah, I have certain things about my exchange as well that I didn't necessarily love, but overall, like, I would totally do it again.
Oh, yeah, same.
Yeah. I mean, you're here in America now.
Exactly. I guess that means something.
Yeah. I think that when it comes down to it, in the end, like, all exchange programs are at its core basically the same. I mean, you have a host family, you have a host city, you have to adjust to a new culture, get the new language, and school, and it's just kind of like, depends on like what you like, obviously, and what you think are more important than other things. But I think no matter what program you end up going with, it's going to be okay in the end, and you're going to have a really good time.
Oh, absolutely.
That's about it. So
yeah, I think we covered most of the main points.
Yeah, I think so too. If you guys have any more questions, put them in the comments below. And thank you, Maria, for doing this with me, my AFS information source. Okay, I'll see you guys all later. Bye.
Ciao.